Wouldn't have it any other way. Kicking off the Blind Appeal College Football Hour with one of the hottest coaches in the country, Jason Eck of the Idaho Vandals, coming off that monster victory against Montana State in front of a sold-out Kibbe Dome on Saturday. Jason Eck now 12-6 as head coach with your Idaho Vandals, 9-2 in Big Sky games, 3-1 against the FCS top 5. I could keep going, but we want to hear from the man. Jason Eck, welcome back to Idaho Sports Talk. It's just me and you today, Coach. Prater's partying in Vegas.
I suspect he did that just because he knew how insufferable you would be after the big Vandal win on Saturday over a great Montana State team. So that's my hypothesis on why he's not here today.
Before I get into it, Coach, how was Halloween? Dude, you have 5 kids. 3 of them are little. Halloween is bigger than Vandal football for probably more than half of your kids. Were you able to do anything with the team or the staff? Did you guys go trick-or-treating? How was it?
Well, we cleared off our schedule, got off practice field in time so coaches could go out with their kids. I had my radio show last night, so my kids got a little trick-or-treating in, and then they came to my radio show in their costumes. Lola was Snow White, my little daughter, and then my son Maverick, who's 8. He was Maverick from Top Gun. Really nicely done costume. He won the McDonald Elementary second grade top costume award.
Yes.
And then Palmer, he's at that kind of cool age, 7th grade, so he just wore like a Justin Fields jersey. That was his costume. So
I love it.
He's a Bears fan. That's pretty insufferable too to be a Bears fan.
I love it. V's up visor. A lot of people should have been wearing that or will be wearing that around Moscow. That's what our boy Jason Eck is wearing. This video is on our YouTube channel for KTIK, so you can like and share that sucker as well. Coach, I always talk about enjoying the journey, and this season, every season is its own journey, and I wish coaches enjoyed the journey sometimes a little more, but you have to look ahead. It's tough. Where on the journey are you guys right now?
We're right in the thick of it, and we certainly enjoyed that victory for 24 hours because that was a great victory. I thought Montana State was an excellent team, and their offense was one of the statistical best offenses I've ever played against. So was very proud of the staff that are the plan we put together on defense. Coach Arwich, our defensive coordinator, and then the players, just how they executed it, how physical they were to match up with a real physical team. And then our offense did a great job of controlling the game, keeping our defense off the field. We were, I think, 9 of 15 on conversion downs, extending drives, which led to us having a big play differential against them. So Coach Slicer put together a great plan on offense. So I think we had a good plan how to win the game, and then we went and executed that plan at a high level.
Giovanni McCoy, I listened to your post-game show at the end, after the end of the game, Coach, and you basically said that, hey, you think that your quarterback is the best quarterback in FCS football. What's his superpower? Does he have that one, like Elway had the arm, Marino had the quick release, right? Does Vonnie have that superpower?
I think it's his poise, his poise and composure. He never gets rattled. First 2 plays of the game weren't his best plays. We take sacks, and but he doesn't get down. He doesn't get down on himself. He just keeps coming back, and he's the same every play. And he made some fantastic throws. I mean, you could not throw a better ball than the last touchdown he threw to Hayden for us to take the lead for the final time. A perfectly thrown ball against double coverage away from the defender. And, he's a treat to coach because he's such a tremendous player.
Describe, Coach, confidence? You seem like a fairly confident guy. How important is confidence to you, and how confident of a person are you, Jason Eck?
I think I'm fairly confident. I think we have a confident team, and confidence comes from one, putting the work in to know you're ready, know that you're prepared, and I think confidence is also a choice. It's how you carry yourself. It's your body language, and that's something I talked a lot with our coaches and our leaders going to that game. And we have to have good. They're going to make some plays. I mean, Montana State's excellent. I knew that was not, even though we got off to a 10-0 start. I mean, that's not a team you're going to beat 30-0 or something. They're going to make a run. They're going to make some plays. But I was really impressed by the mental toughness and our confidence was not shaken at all when they did make those plays. They came back and took 2 leads on us in the second half, but we were pretty inflammable to keep responding in those moments, and came back and took the lead 2 more times, and then we're able to get a stop in the last possession to win the game.
Jason Eck, Idaho Vandal head football coach here on Prater and the Ballgame, Idaho Sports Talk, our Blind Appeal College Football Hour. Coach, describe for all my listeners now that maybe have never been to the Kibbe, or they've never been to the Kibbe over the last 2 home games. It's been historic on levels of attendance and just overall enthusiasm that the fan base has obviously reacted well with the winning. What's it like to be the head coach on the sideline in the Kibbe when the Vandals are rocking and that place is packed?
I'll tell you what, I think the atmosphere we've had in the Kibbe Dome the last 2 weeks is as good as any atmosphere in college football. Playing, and I've coached games in Autzen Stadium or, Florida State Stadium, all through the Big Ten. It might be a little smaller scale. It's not, 100,000 people like at Penn State or Ohio State, but the energy and the electricity that we've had in that building the last 2 weeks, I matches the energy and electricity, just a little smaller scale and a little unique with our wooden dome, the sound bouncing off that. But I think our crowd has really came to make a difference. And I think, not only did we play better against Montana State than Montana, I think our crowd was better. They understood better, and we did a good job of educating them better on, when to be loud, when to be quiet. The band was awesome with that. They did a better job of, playing the fight song earlier, so they weren't playing it right when we were up at the line of scrimmage. And it was just great to see how much, we improved in that 2 weeks where we had our bye week. I think we really used that well. And, I think we have a good plan on how to use bye weeks. Last year off of our bye week, we beat Montana. So our last 2, bye weeks, we've beaten top 5 teams off of them. So, I think we take advantage of that extra time to prepare and get the team ready.
6-2 on the season, 4-1 in the Big Sky. You heard me talk about you in your second year and the numbers you're putting up. Are they charging you for beers at the Corner Club or any other establishment you're going, Coach? Are you getting comped that stuff now?
I can't tell you at the Corner Club Saturday night, I did not have to pay for a beer. I tried to tip the boys a little bit behind the bar, but I did not have to pay for a beer at all that night. So
that's the sign. That's the sign of coaching success. When you go into the watering hole, you probably were Frank Sinatra in there. I'm sure they got a nice little Eck tip, but it is also nice that they were aware of, Coach, and Dennis Erickson, I hope he wasn't banned for his beers either. I saw one of your mentors was up there at the Corner Club. What's it like having the wagons circled the way they are right now, Coach? You got Dennis Erickson coming to see you, hang with you, and drink a beer at the end of the game with you?
Well, Dennis, it worked out well because, he went to Montana State. So, he was going to be the winner no matter what happened in that game, but it was a lot better to be with the home team. So that way you could celebrate right there rather than have them take a bus ride back. No, we've gotten great support. I really feel like our whole Vandal family has really, come together and supported this football team, and just seeing the growth. I mentioned that in my press conference. I think our season opener last year, my first home game as a head coach, we had about 5,000 people in the stands. So to see now 2 sellouts in a row, and just how excited the Vandal Nation is. I know one of our fundraisers was talking about just, all the traffic coming, down now, driving from Moscow, coming back to Southern Idaho on Sundays. There's a ton of people who are making that trek up there. So I think a lot of people are really excited to be a Vandal and very proud to be a Vandal, and they're giving great support to this team. And I'm very thankful for that, because I think this team deserves it. And they certainly are rallying around us and bringing a lot of energy.
Yeah, one of those guys, the donors, the collectors, they hit me up after the game, Coach, and I gave them some damn money as an alum. So yeah, they were texting me saying, "Oh yeah, you're awfully excited on Twitter ball game. Where's your wallet where that mouth is?" So I had to dip in there a little bit. Hopefully, plenty more coming in that regard, Coach. For what
I appreciate that ball game.
You're trying to build. We want to get that new locker room, right? The John Freeze locker room or something. We need to make this thing happen. Coach, Northern Colorado, that's a program in ultimate transition, coming off the McCaffrey era, which is something they want to forget up there in Northern Colorado. They're 0-8. They've lost 9 in a row. On paper, it says everything that this could be a blowout. how do you make sure the team knows that beating Northern Colorado, it really is, in the grand scheme of things, is equally big as beating Montana State at home?
Yeah, we have 6 wins right now, and 6 wins doesn't do anything for you to make the playoffs. Getting to 7, I think, is a lot better number. And even this year, I think there's going to be a lot of 7-win teams in FCS. So there's going to be a lot of 7-win teams who don't make it this year. So this is a big game, and we really just got to. We talk a lot about championship behavior in our program. You got to behave and act like champions and carry yourself and go about your business like champions before you ever become a champion. And I think this is a critical week to do that. We got to make sure that we're really up in that. And, everything we do, practicing like champions, going to the weight room like champions, going to treatment like champions, our academics like champions, just all areas of our life. We got to attack with that championship behavior this week. And, not worry as much about who we're playing this week, though I do think Ed Lamb there at Northern Colorado is a good coach. He won the Big Sky when he was at Southern Utah. That was the year I was at Montana State, so I got a lot of respect from him, and I think he will get that program going eventually. And we got to make sure he doesn't get it going on Saturday. We got to go play our best football and keep working on being consistent, because I do think that's one of the keys of our team. I think we've played at times as good as any team in the country, but we got to up our consistency with how often we play like that.
Coach, are you going to be willing to tell Hayden Hatton it's time to pursue something professionally? He has another year, Coach Eck, and so does Vonnie. And it must be such a thrill just to get to coach Hayden Hatton. He's one of those guys you have a conversation with, and then you go home and tell your wife or your girlfriend about it. Like, I met a superb kid. That's how I felt when I got to know Hayden Hatton a little bit. I mean, just being around him every day, he's got to be one of your favorites. And dang it, I wish you could get him back another year, man.
He's a great player, and I think this this era where the guys have that COVID 6-year eligibility, it just lends itself to conversations. And I think we'll sit down with all of our players at the end of this year and give them good feedback. Feedback we're getting from NFL scouts and things on where they're at, and we'll look at can it be helped by coming back for another year, and those are just conversations we'll have, not in the thick of the season, but after our season's done, those will be priorities.
I love it, Coach.
And I hope this season, and I'm hoping this season goes for a long time. So I want to keep this thing going.
Hey, you going to let us, if you guys get to the playoffs, host a game? I know it's a long ways down the road, but you going to let me and Prater maybe come up there and host Idaho Sports Talk?
Idaho Sports Talk on a Friday night live at the Kibbe Dome. I think that would be awesome. And then I will certainly try to arrange that to get you a spot here to do that. And it'd be great to have you see a game, and so you can see that atmosphere up close and personal here.
I can't wait, man. I wish I was going out to practice with you right now on the field. Let's get after it today. Jason Eck, always appreciate you coming on IST. Well done.
Thanks, Ballgame. He's up.
2 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN Plus. Idaho at Northern Colorado. Jason Eck tries to win his 10th career Big Sky game in a year and a half on the gig. Jason Eck 9-2 in Big Sky competition, 12-6 overall. And the Vandals ranked number 3 in the country in the stat poll, number 5 in the coaches poll, and we're pumped in Moscow. Prater on the ball game, KTIK, the ticket, blind appeal college football hour. Let's continue. Boise State fan. All right, you can breathe again. Paul Leffler, the play-by-play broadcaster for the Fresno State Bulldogs. He's going to talk about what it is Fresno's going to have to do to beat Boise State. Let's get back to the Bulldogs and the Broncos. Bob's in for Prater. Prater on the ball game, KTIK, the ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.